So welcome back. This is going to be the start of episode 7. Thank you to everybody that's actually following the build, subscribing to the channel. Hope everybody's having a great New Year's today. So we're going to fire off with, still trying to get stuff on the engine done. Now I got to show you something I did forget. I already did this morning, so I didn't film though. Oh, let's get this crazy light up in here. Got this cool Y connector right there. This goes for the oil accumulator from Moroso. Actually replaced a couple of these fittings to make everything work. You know, just trying to make stuff in good shape. So I got all the lines to the oil cooler hooked up, everything all in. I had to make up a couple of these things. We're running the B&M oil cooler. I really like this unit. It actually has a real Spall brand fan on the back. I think this be season 3 on this same cooler. It's a good cooler. I really like it. You can get it off the Holley website. So, spirit of what we're doing today is continuing with the engine, getting it running. We're going to be mounting this brick of LS7 coils. I like the factory coils. I haven't had the best of luck with other aftermarket stuff. So these are actually off a used Corvette, eBay special. So what I'm thinking about right here, we're gonna mount these guys right like that. So it is semi close to the exhaust, but it's actually about 8 inches farther away on the exhaust than it was on the last car, and I never had an issue with it. So here's what I'm kind of thinking we're gonna do right here. Gonna get this brick of Rough Stuff quick tabs out here. Just get yourself a strip right here. So just break them off like we're like breaking off potato chips or something. Got a couple of these. So here's what I'm thinking we are gonna do right here. So I think we're gonna take some of these. We're just gonna lay them on right there, 1 and 2. And then what that's gonna do, we got some bolt holes right here in the back. I'm just gonna lay 1 and 2 right there. You know, even one of these would do it. I mean, these are really robust tabs. So I like to use these tabs. I've been using these for years on customer projects, even my own car. This is what we're gonna actually use to attach the roof to the very top. So the roof, I'm not using quarter turn fasteners. I just use some button head 3/8 with like a Allen key style at the top to make everything fit and come off easy. But these can take a freaking beating, so get them from Rough Stuff if you don't know, but now you know. Okay, so I got tabs welded on for right there. Waiting for it to cool down, so that side will go on, and then this side, it's gonna be a little bit different. So here's where I want to put this thing. Let me put this into position. I want this thing to go about like that. Okay, so we can't use those quick tabs on this, so I just drew up a bracket. That's what it looks like we're going to be running on this thing. So let me go turn the air compressor, or plug it in, turn this thing on. Okay, coil mount. Totally on there. Bracket number 2. I don't trust myself with that right there. Okay, we'll let that thing cool and then we'll put the pack back on. Good morning, welcome back to episode 7. Today it's a Saturday morning at a long late last night. Starting the morning off with some really good Liberty coffee right here from Black Rifle. We've got the old Keurig doing its thing. So today we're going to be working back on the hood. Last night I was not rolling the camera, totally was just in the zone. Let me show you where I left off with. So we started out with, you know, a big old chunk, 4x10 of aluminum. I cut it down. Let's see here. Let's move this to show you what I kind of got. It still needs a little bit of work. I am not done with it, but once everything actually gets the quarter turn fasteners on, this thing will clamp down. You know, it'll move. It's just, like I said, it's still a work in progress, but I spent a bunch of time, see if this will pick this up, contouring the nice little edges right here. Got this rounded, got most of my dingers sanded out. There's a couple scrapes on here. So I had to do some crazy stuff yesterday. I decided not to film this because I probably would have screwed up. So what actually happened was I had to put this crease right here on the top, and my little brake thing is way too narrow. So I tried to put this over on the table right there, strapped a piece of metal across it, clamped it, tried pounding it, bending it, standing on it. It wouldn't bend. So what I did was I actually went over to this Toyota Tacoma that I have right over there. It's a customer's. And then I jacked the rear end up. I set this piece of aluminum down on the ground. I put the piece of metal plank across where I was going to bend it. And then I actually dropped the rear tire directly on top of it. Then what I did was I went over on the little short side of the where I was trying to bend it up at, and I stuffed a low profile jack under there. And I started lifting it up, you know, started with the center, then I went to each edge and did that. And it just wasn't working right. So then I took a piece of metal all the way across the end and then put the jack under there and then clamped it. And then I literally folded that thing up almost to where it was almost 90 degrees to the tire. And the clamps were getting really close to the tire. And I was kind of afraid that if I messed it up, literally like the end of the clamp would have went through the sidewall in the new tire. And that's why I didn't want to film it. So I was like, knowing my luck, that's what would have happened. So after I had it actually jacked up and it started to bend a little bit, then I like actually took the truck and put it in gear and drove it back and forth across the metal plank. And then it actually put the crease in the damn thing. So that was kind of cool. And then I spent a couple hours last night pounding and rounding the edges and then trying to sand some of the dents and things like that down. So I do have my work cut out for me today. I would like to get the quarter turn fastener plates welded on, see if we could transfer some holes so we can mount this thing up. But then the other thing is, let's check this out here. So right there, the very top of this thing just lightly touches underneath here. There's a little spot for that. Now this was the same thing on the last car. I ended up cutting a small kind of weird shaped hole, and then I made an aluminum little like perimeter with some mesh on there and then riveted it up. That worked. It didn't mess anything up, but I'm still deciding if I want to make a hood scoop or not for this car, because I really want maximum visibility. It'll help me to see what I'm going to be running into, over, through, whatever. So that's kind of like my decision. And last night it was midnight when I left, and I was at that point where, do I cut a hole in this hood or not? And I decided to just go home and sleep on it. So I'm gonna go drink my coffee and then we're gonna get back to it. Okay, coffee's drank. Did a little bit of playing around. So here's going to be the template right here for, I don't know, I wouldn't even call it really the hood scoop, but the little spacer that I need. So right here, so I can fold this back up. I'm gonna be doing this like this, okay? So it's gonna be flat in front, triangular to the back, and when you're in the car, kind of hard to tell, but it's because the hood goes up anyways at this angle. You see that? It's not going to be blocking any of my view or anything. So what this portion of it's for is the right where the two collectors come together and there's the big old pipe. The extra heat proofing that I put on there makes it a little bit thick, and that's going to be touching the bottom of the hood. Being as it's going to be wrapped, I don't want to barbecue the wrap. This stuff's expensive. So I'm making this guy up. So I used a cardboard box, kind of had a cool corner in it. I cut out the corner, and that's what I came up with. And that way I got all the wings and everything shaped up. So I'm going to go transfer this over to the computer, and then I'm actually going to cut that out of a piece of aluminum on the plasma table. That way everything is straight and perfect, really easy for me to work with. And then I'm going to put it in the brake. Because I don't have like a box brake, one corner of it is going to be a little bit tricky to work with, but I'm going to make it work. So stay tuned. Okay, there's my drawing. Edited in the cutter. Now I just cut this thing out. I mean, like perfect. Like there's nothing wrong with that. I don't even have to sand this. So now we're gonna go put it over here in the folder, and we're gonna try to break this thing. Trying to determine which side looks better, so we're gonna go this way. So the bad thing is, because I don't have like a pan brake, so we're gonna be able to fold these two sides really easy, but this front one right here may be a problem. So I always hate it. There was one of these on Amazon. I really should have bought it, and I just waited a little too long, and then they sold out. We only had 3 of them, and it was like 300 bucks, super cheap, and it would have fit this thing, so it was a 24-inch. Hey, you know what I should have did? If this thing doesn't work, I'll recut one of these out, but what I'll do is I'll actually cut some lines across this thing, but not all the way. That way it's easier to bend, you'll see. So, damn, this sucks. I don't like that. Alright. I'm gonna do some tracing really quick. Okay, I got a couple of marks right here. So these are going to be where we're going to be doing the bending. Yeah, I have a feeling I'm going to have to do it too. I feel like I'm like manifesting a problem right now, but whatever. Oh my lord, yep. So I think we're gonna definitely, this stuff's so fucking hard to thick, or so thick to bend, I'm still tired. I'm gonna remake this piece, but I'm gonna make some lines on the edges. It's gonna make this thing way easier to bend. Yeah, let's try this again. So, first piece, this will be the new one right there. So these are the relief cuts that I made, all the way down right there. This should give me a little bit easier opportunity to go and get this thing to actually bend. Now, this is what I did on the last car, a ton of the pieces. I just can't break them, and right now my elbow is still killing me, so it's hard to like pull and do stuff. So let's see what happens here. Let's start. Which side looks the crappiest. Kind of both look pretty good. We're gonna go with this. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna work the top a little bit first, just to kind of like get it to want to start to bend, and then we're actually gonna do both the sides and just get that done correctly. Better setup here. Let's try to get you some camera. Let's see if we can make this work. This kind of sucks, but hey, it works. It's way closer. And then with with the relief cuts, it gives me a marker too where I actually got to be bending. So I don't have to guess so much. Or draw a line. You want to be careful with that. This stuff's like a paper clip at that point, is if you can fold the paper clip back and forth to snap it. So it's just getting this to like bend up and then down enough, just so that way when we, so I still left a little concave in there, but we got some good score marks. So after we fold these sides up, this, I should be able to do this by hand, like with some mild tools. But if we had a box break, this would be like super easy. You know, so in case anybody's like listening and watching, wants to like throw me a tool to try, I would love it. Fair enough, man. Nice little fold right there. So what I will have to do is I'll have to TIG these edges down and then weld them up, you know, but not too bad, you know. At least it gives me half of it complete. So, and are you guys ready for King of the Hammers, you know? Just dying to come down to watch or compete, or, you know, want to check out a new driver or new event or anything like that? I'd like to hear about it. How many times have you been to King of the Hammers? So for me, this will be my 11th year there racing in a row. Also, too, what's your favorite thing to do at King of the Hammers, or what's your favorite booth there? I'll tell you my favorite thing, and it's my favorite booth all at the same time, is the ice cream lady in the school bus. That's my favorite thing to do at Hammers. It's like, how often can you say you got ice cream down in the desert, you know? And so that lady's super cool, man. I always have her make me what I call the chocolate eruption, and that's the chocolate ice cream, chocolate topping, the Oreos, the M&Ms, the chocolate sauce, just everything you can absolutely put on there. That's what I came up with the name for it. And I remember actually hearing that name as a kid watching the Goonies when Chunk was getting in the cooler where the dead body was, and he's naming all the different ice creams off in there, and the chocolate eruption stuck with me. So that's what I like getting at King of the Hammers. That's my favorite thing to do. So it's usually great after a long night of working on the car, or even after the race, going down there after you're demolished and then just getting an ice cream. And that lady's just super cool. I hope to see her there this year. We got two sides. Now we need to get this chunk folded up in here. So we're gonna do this kind of interesting like. Let's get this camera doing some camera stuff. Let's see what I'm up to. Kind of thinking, I got this metal edge here on the table. Kind of thinking if we go and get this thing to clamp down, we could probably grab this with a hammer and tap it up. At least that's what I'm thinking in my head. So here's kind of what I'm thinking here. Go and take this, we'll measure it. Let's go take it and put it in the saw. Oh, come on. I do got a skill saw in here, but I don't feel like making the sawdust. So a little trick I do is we'll just stick it right on the chop saw for the middle. It doesn't make any sawdust because it just burns it off instantly. All right, let's do this. Not going to be square just because this damn piece is crooked, but it don't matter. Damn, dude, normally it doesn't smoke so bad. This is a dense piece. Shit. I'll have to go open up the window or the front door or whatever. Okay, piece is cut. This place is hecka smoky now. But I got the door open and the swamp cooler on. Still can't tell if it's helping or not. So, here's what I got going on. So I'm going to try to hit it with the hammer and lift it up. Can definitely say that watching a whole ton of like American Shopper and bunch of stuff from Jesse James, you know, doing weird metalworking and stuff, like I'd watch that guy with like blobs of leather and stuff and setting it over, you know, gas tanks and pounding them out and shaping them up when there was no tools available. But it just kind of seemed like that's actually what he wanted to do to make the stuff work, you know. So I don't know, I try to improvise and use what I got too. I don't have all the high dollar stuff, but I got things that work, you know. Like for me, these are probably my oldest tools. Believe it or not, these came as a Christmas present for my mom when I was in 5th grade. So kind of weird that these have stuck around with me that long, and I didn't think that when I got these things as a gift that I'd be like working on cars and fabricating stuff with them. And I mean, this one you can't even see the numbers anymore on there, you know, but this one you can. But it's pretty cool just to think that these things have stuck around with me that long, and kind of cool. So again, use what you got, you know, don't limit yourself because you don't have anything fancy. Wow, well, look at that. Pretty cool, man. That's exactly what I'm going for. So let's see what it actually is supposed to do. So let's get right here. That is actually going to lay like that. So that's the idea with this guy. So kind of looks like half a pizza box to me. It was because I was eating pizza last night. But as you can see, just going for nice and simple. It's not any taller than the point on the hood right here, so it's not blocking any of my clearance. So I mean, that is pretty sharp right there. I like that. I think that came out pretty good. So now it's time for me to take the hood, flip the hood over, make the marks. I want to do my cutting in the hood on the underneath side, that way in case I gouge something, whatever, it's on the bottom, nobody will see it. And then I'll drop this piece on there and then see what happens. Takes a while. Jeez, man. Okay, there goes the battery. Okay, man, one more. one of those things you'd see at a tourist trap, you know, go take your selfie shots, you know? Now let's actually see if this thing's gonna do what I want it to do. Cool. Okay. Look at that, peekaboo. So this area right there, that was the spot that was touching. Now, let's go take our handy dandy. Well, shucks. Like, it fits, it's the right size, but I gotta set it down. Something like that. But there you go. That's what that thing's gonna be right there. Let's get a nice little view of what we're working with here. Not bad, man. I mean, that's gonna fit really good. Yeah. So now I'm gonna go get everything cleaned up. I'm gonna get it. I gotta get this table all cleared off right here. Get everything strapped down and flat. Then we're gonna start welding up this stuff. So a few minutes ago I was welding and like the weld was just so erratic and all over the place. Like, what the fuck, you know? I totally forgot the argon pressure. It was too high because I was welding the stainless last time. So if you have too much gas flow coming out of one of these little nozzles, it'll just like blow the arc all over the place and just really bad. So I just fixed it, now it's all back to normal. Other good news is Phil texted me the other day and told me that the trailing arms apparently got into the heat treaters because him and Dave made some out of chrome moly for me, and so then they were going to go treat them up too. So we've been waiting on that. That's what's holding us back on the rear end. So as soon as we get those, we'll be able to put the upper rear links, which are on the floor down there, the new joints, and the trailing arms on, and then we'll be able to build upper shock mounts. So that'll be coming up next. Pretty excited about that, and then this thing will be a roller and get my lift back. Rotate this thing over, so can't reach all the way over there. Okay, welcome back to another edition of Bob Vila's Home Again. Oh, it's the wrong show. This is the Flex Point Off-Road Show. Sorry. But I do like that show, though. Sitting there trying to like pull it with my finger, jam rod in, and then take it at the same time. It's like I really should have been born part octopus. love it. This thing's jamming today. I like what's happening here. This is actually doing decent. The hard part's going to be is getting these corners right here. So the problem with the corners is they're super thin. These little pieces right in front of the tungsten. And the other side, I was doing it like going under like this, and I didn't even see it, and I like dropped half of it out. So that's going to have to be filled in and then sanded down, which is what it is, you know. Probably in my best interest, I should actually wait on these right now because this piece is really hot. So that's what I'm going to do. Let it cool down on that at least anyways. I'm actually going to let the overall piece cool. And then after I let it cool a little bit, we will commence fire. I got to charge the battery up anyways. So after a good day and a half, 2 days, whatever you want to call it, there's a hood on the car. It's pretty cool. I still need to do a little bit of touch work up on it, sand it down just a little bit more here and there on some of the edges and some of the weld seams that I had to try to knock down from putting the scoop on. But this thing all is attached. I think it looks pretty good. This was a lot of work. I really recommend if you're gonna make a hood, make it out of 060 and not 90. It would be way easier to work. But this thing's gonna be able to take a beating, so that's what it's for. Other thing is too, I tried not to, let's show you. These edges right here, cosmetically it'd look good if I rolled them down to about here. But the thing is with these cars, they're getting drug in the rocks, they're getting drug against other cars, they're getting flipped upside down. And when you got wrap and things like that, it's just going to get gouged up. And aluminum looks terrible once you give it some road rash. It gets sharp edges and just looks horrible. So I'm trying to keep it away from the rocks, at least, you know, this portion of it, because the hood took a long time to make. So there's a lot more work to go, but trying to get this thing done reasonably within 2 weeks max. So I can go out and test it before I gotta leave. So we're working on this guy right here. I think my light just died. Jeez. See if we can get in a little bit better. Anyways, I started folding this one up. This is gonna go on there. It's gonna cap on there like that. You kind of get the idea. I got the lower one on. But there's the top. So we're gonna go put it back in. Yeah, whatever. So we gotta bend it a little bit more. So we're gonna go over here into this high dollar machine right here. Check that out. Let's put this thing in there. Give me just a second to jig this thing up. Okay, so yep, little homebrew contraption, but this does it. Let's go actually see if this thing fits better now. Probably help if I charge this light back up, but that's what we got. Man, filming is so hard, dude. Trying to get that thing to go in there. That's exactly what I'm looking for. So I'll have to get in there. So what I'm going to do is, as I start welding, I'm just going to start tinkering on it with a hammer a little bit. But that's how the stuff's going to work. So it'll form up. It'll look pretty good when I'm done. I've done this before on other links, so I'll show you once I get it on. I'd say we're getting good penetration on that stuff. But yeah, there's the tops. A little bit tricky to get in there and weld with all my stuff in here. Should have thought about this before I started getting down, but now I'm going to weld the lowers. shoes on still?
I still got this one because these are dirty still. Still have them.
Okay, we'll go over there, okay? 'Cause Dad's welding.
Okay.
Okay.
The pink ones are for slapping and muddy cuddling.
Put that down. Put that down. Thank you. That's for the race car. That's for the car. Yep. Goes on the car. Gotta love that. Right as I was getting ready to start, the good old phone rang. Oh, we're gonna need a welding mask. Gas coverage. Like decisions, man. I'm gonna go right here. what I got going on there is just a little weave. Comes from years of practice doing the underwater basket weaving class, if you know what I'm talking about. I think it's gonna work. You know, worst case scenario is the steering wheel just comes off, you know? That'd be like. Okay, first fit up looks really good. So we're there. Holes I left just a hair larger. We're gonna slip this tube in there and weld it. So we'll have 3 of those guys up in there. Now what I'm gonna also have to do is, we got right down in there the radiator hose. I was trying to make it so these hoses I didn't have to cut them, so I can just pull them right out of the package, shove them on the car. But I'm just gonna have to nip the hose just a little bit to scoot it in towards the radiator hair so it doesn't rub a hole in it. Other alternative is I could take another piece of radiator hose, cap it over there, zip tie it on, that way it doesn't rub, but I don't want to have to do that. And it looks ghetto too. I've done it for years. It's never failed me. But let's do this one right. So now that this plate fits, I'm deciding if I want to basically use another piece of plate and stack over it to double it up with a slightly smaller perimeter. That way I can kind of weld all the way around it, which I'm kind of leaning towards, or if I just want to do this thinner plate and then run a thicker plate near where the shock bolt goes through. So I kind of got some decisions because I'm trying to trim the weight off this car. I don't want it being like a husky build, but I also don't want it falling apart. So we'll see what happens. So I'm kind of happy I went with this plate, even though we're not done yet, because I thought about, you know, bending a piece of tubing up and then basically tabbing some shock mounts off of the tubing like I did on the last car. But I've always wanted to build one of these setups, and then now that I'm actually doing it, I think it's gonna be a pretty hot little look. So we'll see what happens. And then I also seen another guy on Instagram that actually dimple dyed the holes, and then when he shoved the tube in there, he kind of like welded it and then blended it around, and it looked pretty dang good. So I'm thinking about trying to emulate the same thing. I really should do it. I think it's going to look pretty cool. So let's see what I can do and see if I can actually blend it down and make it look the same. Okay, welcome back to the show. I skipped quite a bit of stuff. I did build these last night, most of it. This was a super chore. I mean, some of it came out okay. So I just started adding this little brace right here. I don't know if it's completely necessary, but I got 2 layers of plate here. Got the DOM tubes in there, welded around. I've been having a ton of issues with, so like all the cool welding stores, they close on Saturdays. The steel supply store was open, so I got to get a couple tubes of DOM today, and they were the only ones with welding wire, so I had to buy some weird off-name brand welding wire I've never used. It looks dull and like shit when you weld on it or with it. So I don't know if it's the wire and or the bottle of argon being bad, because if you get a bad bottle of argon, it'll kind of do the same thing. And also too, my welds, they're not coming out shiny, and so I'm kind of leaning more towards it's gas contamination in the bottle. I can't do anything about it until Monday to go get some more bottles. And my backup bottle, it's empty too, so I've used almost both bottles. So kind of tricky stuff. So I had actually had these plates, so you can see down here it's double stacked, and then when I went and added this top plate today, I tried to TIG weld that seam right there, and this piece of plate right here, I went and faced it on the belt sander, and I ended up with contamination in the metal. So when I welded it all over the place, it just kept pulling up stuff and fizzling, air pockets, like black soot coming out of it. I ground that and welded it so many times today, it's made my head spin off my neck. So I ended up having to go with this blended look. I absolutely hate it. I mean, it's on there, it's decent, but that's not what I was going for right there, you know. I TIGged these last night, and then, the weld washer right here. But that's not what I wanted. But that's what I got. I got to work with what I got. I'm running out of time. Don't have much time left. So there's this side right there. So I got to finish welding here. And then the other side is actually on too. So there's the other side right there. We're welded. So I just got to weld these dudes, zip tie this, line back up, all that stuff, and then put the radiator back in. So there's where I'm at. Been a long process, almost 2 days just to do those, and I am gonna be glad when these shocks go on. So let's buzz these on, let's see what happens. Let's see what I got here. If I could find my gloves, kind of need those. There. Gloves are on. I think I did 17 hours yesterday. I am absolutely tore up. So it's been a journey. Oh man. Yeah, and just even welding on this right now, there's so much black stuff coming out of this just from right there. It's like, and these pieces were already cleaned so many times. Like I haven't had one thing on this car be like this, and it's kind of driving me nuts. going. Let's go check out the view from the other side of my office. Ooh, we got some nice stuff going on there too. I don't know if I showed you guys those that I made. Pretty snazzy stuff, and they removed too, so you can actually work on the car. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. Get this super amazing view right there. Yeah. I'm just gonna finish that. Yeah, just like, let's look at this here. Let's get this light on here. Just look at that. Just no matter what I do, it just keeps pulling that garbage out of there, and like, the welds do not even look the same. It's just junk, I guess. All right, let's go back to it over here. So I've been considering buying a new welder, just being as I bought this thing in 2010. Yeah, 2010. Holy cow, it's 14 years old. Been a good machine, but I can tell you right now it welds differently now than it did when it was brand new. Things don't last forever. What welding machine would you guys recommend to go and buy? Should I stick with the Miller, or go to the red side and do a Lincoln, or, you know, something even different, you know, because there's a lot of cool technology out there that wasn't out there years ago. So what do you guys think? What are you welding with at home? What's working, or what are you using in your shop, you know? I'd like to hear about what you guys got, what you guys recommend, because I don't know everything, and I want to learn too, just like you guys are. See if I can stuff myself in here. Yep. I really can't wait to fire up this car, you know, even though it's been like 4 weeks or something since I heard the motor run, you know, in the last car. I kind of feel bad, you know, it's kind of something you get addicted to. I love hearing that. Yeah, buddy. Okay. It's all welded there. I think there's a spot on the other side I still got to get. This thing is so close to being a roller, it's not even funny. So I really want to roll this thing right off the lift, so I don't have to keep climbing in this jungle gym to work on what I'm doing. Let's see, I'm going to use this light actually, because I actually bolted this thing down. There's a, I think in here, I'm going to get my, I mean, not bad, but you know, this should look a lot shinier. Let's see if I can get closer. You know, it's kind of hard to tell. It looks a lot better with the light on it. But I'm just so picky about my stuff. I think there's a weld I didn't get. Yeah, right in the bottom. I don't know if I can reach down in there though. Let's see if I can work this thing in there. And still getting used to this weird GoPro light thing that it came with. I should have been using it a long time ago, but it's weird. Sometimes it just randomly shuts off. I don't know if it's like on a timer or what. Yeah, dude, like, I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to get in here. Let's see if I can even get my helmet in there. Yep. Okay. Dude, if that ain't a tight fit, I don't know what is. So now I still gotta decide if I want to go blend this off. I don't know. So when I made this top plate, I didn't do this until the end because I wanted to be able to get inside in there and be able to weld. And then I capped this off because I didn't just want to half-ass that and have it break off on the car. I mean, there's a lot of action going on back there. You know, the best thing is, after this thing's nearly done, the spray paint, dude, will hide all the weird stuff. Nobody will ever know. All right, well, I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to decide what I'm going to do next, but I think I gotta shove the radiator back in, and then I can actually put the shocks in, and I don't know. I'm so tired, I don't even know what I want to do. I'm gonna do something. I just don't want to bolt this whole fucking thing up now, dude. Yeah. Because we're gonna have to put it back on, bend this, take it back off, and cut it. So I just really would like to just do this once. And be able to be done. No, just taking it on and off once. That's what I'm saying. Happens when you're weeks on a fucking project for so long. grinder disc from up underneath. And really, I'd like just to be off and like the stupid bandsaw over there, but I'm just not in the mood.
Oh, yeah.
Either way, it's gonna take time, so I may as well just do this. Panels like I always do. I'm afraid of aluminum for side panels. The shit creases too easy. So I'm gonna get back to pounding, grinding, whatever, and see what we got here. Just keep kind of working this thing a little bit. Some little hammers right here, one on the top, just kind of tink out some of this crap. check it out, what we're doing here. So yeah, a bunch of this. Got almost all of it out. It's pretty smooth in there. So last step will be with orbital sander, getting that stuff going to just knock the deeper scratches down a little bit more. But it was kind of cool this morning to take a little bit of time and actually think about the wrap with the Sign Creations company here in town. Tell them what I wanted to do with the lasers and everything with the cats. Tell them why, you know, I'm thinking I want to have kids actually want to look at the car, talk about it with their parents, their buddies at school, you know, things like that, you know. I remember taking my Ultra4 car to my nephew's school one day. It was like show and tell. So I showed up with the last car, and all the kids really loved it out there. I got to give them cool merchandise and things like that to take home, you know, stickers and things. So, you know, it's like, it's important to get the upcoming generation, the kids, into this racing, you know, so we have a future in what we're doing, and we got to plant the seeds to make this happen, you know. And one day you know, my kid talks about it already. You know, Jade wants to already race a car, and when she's, you know, 10 years old, around there, you know, we're gonna build her one of them little 170s, you know, for the NorCal Rock Racing, if they're still doing that, and get her involved in doing that so we can do it, you know, father and daughter, you know. And then when she's a little bit bigger, like 16, we'll get her into one of these driving, you know. So I think it's important to keep kids interested in what we're doing, and by giving kids a chance to get excited about things like this, you know, we got a chance to keep them off tablets and social media and stuff like that, and get more involved and hands-on and learn how to do trades and things like that to maybe build a career with later on in life. And by staying busy doing things like this, you know, might give them a chance of staying off the streets and staying out of trouble, you know. So that's kind of like my thought behind this thing. I don't know, it's kind of like one day if I ever win the lotto, yeah, a real slim chance, you know. I want to build a gigantic shop to do after school program to teach kids how to weld and fabricate, and let them bring their trucks in and teach them how to build bumpers and things like that, you know, and give kids a chance these days, because schools are cutting out programs. Teachers just don't care as much as they used to. The funding's not there. And I think that being able to give back to a community to let the kids have a chance to learn something, it's in value. You can't put a price on there, you know. So I'm kind of going on and on. The battery's about to die, but yeah, man, Laser Cat wrap. Look out for it at King of the Hammers. It's gonna be wild, funky, fresh. And then I'm also gonna be doing something like this. So here's my old wrap right here, from back in the day. This is one I actually did myself, believe it or not, and wrapped it. I don't know how I pulled it off, but the outer space theme, I really liked it. It's kind of something dear to me. It's another story for another time. But we're gonna do outer space on the background, Laser Cats in the front. So I gotta charge this battery up so we can show you more stuff. So again, this is for passing tech. Kind of needs to be like that. And then also too, I'm kind of laying them on some of the corners, because in the past, when you flop and land on this, I've dented these tubes right here, and so I got this kind of sticking out a little bit, kind of to be used as a bash guard is kind of what my thoughts are on that. Let's clean this thing out. Probably clean these too before we go and weld them. So there's that guy. Welded pretty good. I got one for the bottom and then a gusset I gotta put on. So let's start, I guess we'll go tack the other one in there. Let's see if we can get a decent view of what we're working with here. Let's see. Actually, yeah, so we got one more little gusset for right up here. I'm gonna brace that with. Looks like I gotta cut a little bit off the corner right there. Make that fit. Trim that real quick. So got the corner all rounded off. Let's see that thing. Oh yeah, that fits good now. Okay, so I'm gonna wait a minute on this because I have a feeling I could use the extra room to weld. Let's do a little bit different view here. Let's see what I can do. And I can use the light to help me. Looks like a double win. Feels pretty good. I think I can take the wire speed down a little bit though. Let's see about this bottom piece. Plan this way. See if this will work. for the like super fun part. That actually came out really good. Let's see if we can get in there and see that. That actually looks pretty damn good, dude. Yeah, that came out better than I thought it was gonna be. I'm really surprised. So I got to put that top gusset on, and then I need to actually take the driveline off so I can get on the inside and weld that seam, weld the seam down there. But I welded up all these. These came out really good. I mean, they're like flawless. This guy, that guy, and then I threw the corner strap on there, and then I even got the insides of these guys too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do some trick stuff later. I'm going to get an old welding mask, and I'm going to try to put the GoPro in there, see if I can get my helper actually help hold the camera and see if we can do some film. And I want to show you guys like my technique on my welding. It's just shut off. All right, there's the carrier bearing mount. It's all in there. Added this plate down to there. So it's a couple multi-piece kind of thing, you know. But it's time to get under here. I got some welding to do on that bar here and here. So let's get up to doing it. Let's see what we got here. Might be nice to actually sweep the floor too. Welding tits, I like it. Bang. Okay, dude, that one's done. Let's see if I can actually get in there. Oh, I can get in. Looking pretty good there. I like it. I think this side I already welded that, but see if I can get up in there too. Get these mounts. Yep. 2 spots to go. Still got to cut out some brackets, put underneath these link tabs down there to brace that up, so that needs to still be done. So I can probably cut those. What I need to do is check my cardboard templates that I made for the back and see if they'll match to the front, which I really don't see why they wouldn't. So I'd like to get those, like those little skid guard. But I'm pretty impressed. I mean, this welder's doing a lot better now that I did the service on it. Man, this looks freaking good, dude. Okay, next piece of the puzzle. Little link tabs under there, so we're going to, I got these guys made up, we're going to weld those up. So pretty neat little piece. See if we can get you guys a semi-decent view of what's going on here. Kind of, sort of. Today, what I'm going to be trying to do too, shortly, go get the Lexan panels, because I want the other gloves. So yes, go buy the Lexan sheeting. I checked, they got some in stock. I'm gonna go grab that today. And make side panels. Thinking that's probably a good spot right there. That way that joint can move pretty good. Looks good to me. that looks pretty good right there. A little bit of oil right there. What the fuck? Alright. You gotta rock and roll with that right there. Okay, now see if I can even get the other ones on. These might take a little bit of work actually. I'm going to put like a twist in these. I gotta think about this, so give me a minute on that.